Good morning. This is the smoke dispersion briefing for the Great Basin this Monday, October 28th. Looking at precipitation the past 7 days, you can see just very light amounts across eastern and northern portions of the Great Basin. First shade of blue is just a couple of hundredths of an inch. A lot of that came in the form of some light snowfall, slightly heavier amounts across on the higher terrain of western Wyoming. In terms of percent of normal, you can see how much of the Great Basin is well below normal, anywhere from 0 to 10% of normal precipitation over the past week. Now, over the past 3 days, on the left-hand side, some light amounts of snow, concentrated mostly across the Wasatch and Uintas and western Wyoming. We're anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow, some local pockets of 4 to 6 in the highest terrain occurred. On the right-hand side, snow cover map, some light snow cover, just a few inches of fairly dry snow across the higher terrain of northern Utah. A little bit more across western Wyoming, some places reporting up to a foot or more of snowfall, snow cover, and about anywhere from 6 to 12 inches across the higher terrain of the mountains of central Idaho. Satellite imagery shows that one storm system which dropped off some light snow over the weekend moving out. Another much colder system, if you can believe that, moving on in with more clouds and moisture and some snow showers, with some Arctic air ushering in behind it across Idaho into parts of Nevada and Utah. That'll be later on tonight through tomorrow. And the coldest air that we have had in October in many years being ushered on in right now. Looking at current fuel conditions, 10-hour fuels still extremely dry across the southern Great Basin. You can see here 3 to 4% on the 10-hour fuels, incrementally higher as you go further north. 100-hour fuels, you can see the still fairly dry across southern Nevada, southern Utah, 6 to 10%. Some locally drier pockets in parts of southern Nevada. And similarly, 1,000-hour fuels also still quite dry across the southern part of the Great Basin, even fairly dry across western areas as well. Now, for the weather map this afternoon, you can see that front already making headway with clouds and probably some snow showers here in the green. Snow levels getting down to the Great Basin valley floor, if you will, down to 4,000 feet, if not lower. So all of it should be in the form of snow, albeit light precipitation. It will be cold. Good overall dispersion, especially areas where you see the white or the yellow. In terms of transport winds will be picking up with this front out of the west. You can see some of these wind barbs in the orange here, gusts approaching 30 miles per hour, mixing heights several thousand feet above ground level. Now, snowfall later on tonight through tomorrow, and this is from the National Weather Service in Utah, parts of western Wyoming. You can see these light blue shades indicating anywhere from about 2 to 4 inches of snow, but we see the enhanced areas in the yellow, a half a foot or more of snow possible in some of these areas. Now, for Tuesday, that low moves on eastwards into Colorado, taking the moisture with it, but cold air driving down from the north. Excellent overall dispersion, northerly winds. You see those very strong northerly transport winds. Areas in the brown here, gusts of near 50 miles per hour. So widespread 30 to 50 mile an hour winds, primarily out of the northwest and north, where you see those enhanced shades. Something to keep in mind. Mixing heights will be good overall. We start diminishing the winds a bit. A weak ridge of high pressure that's over California builds on towards the west, especially across Nevada. Winds will be diminishing. Also, their dispersion gets a little worse here in the red. Areas in the white, still overall good dispersion. You can see the transport winds here on the left, fairly light across parts of Nevada and Idaho. Still decent northerly transport across parts of southern Nevada and parts of southern Utah. Out of the north, it may be 15 to 30 miles per hour. Good overall vertical dispersion. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, you can see the clearing index here across Utah. And precipitation totals over the next 3 days. This will be primarily in the next 24 hours. Melted liquid equivalent, this dark green here indicating a quarter to a half inch. Of course, the higher terrain of Utah and western Wyoming, otherwise lesser amounts or drier as you head further south and west. On Thursday, we start a prolonged dry trend. High pressure building in, still some cold air driving down out of the north, but will be dry. Because of high pressure starting to build in, the dispersion gets a little worse. Part of that's going to be for snow cover, keeping inversions in place longer across areas that do get a few inches of snow, especially parts of northern Utah, southeast Idaho, and western Wyoming. And a little change on Friday. Still kind of high pressure nosing in, but still getting a drive of northwest flow and some cooler air at the surface. But you can see dispersion starts to improve a bit across southern Nevada, southern Utah. We get more cloud cover coming in here. See this area in black here on the left-hand side across most of Idaho, good chunk of Utah and parts of Nevada. That cloud cover will prevent mixing, so dispersion takes a nosedive towards the weekend a little bit into Sunday. Precipitation, once we go into days 4 or 5, as well as 6, 7, none on the map. And the long-range outlook shows continued dry conditions. This is October 20. This is actually November 4th through the 10th. So into the end of the first week, into the second week of November, much drier than normal, but also cooler than normal conditions. This concludes our briefing. Next one will be this coming Wednesday. Have a great day.